arts. Everyone you see here is either practicing artist, performing artist, or a student of the arts who wants to dedicate their practice, their love, to share bhakti with the world. Most of us have been touring for many years, performing all over the world, and our mood of service is to make bhakti accessible to anyone. So please see that in our endeavors, see that in our mood, in the writing, in the performance, in the costumes. It's rare that we have the opportunity to perform for devotees. Most of the time we're performing for the public at large, but it's a great honor for us to today share what we're sharing to all of you. So thank you so much for being here. The one thing we'd like to add is that we know that kirtan is not a performance. And we know that in Mahaprabhu's time, the kirtan sometimes would manifest into theatrical productions. The Tinanapu love to do this, right? So we want to develop that kind of mood here tonight. Though we are here to serve you, we're all here to churn the rasa, our dear Lord's pastimes together. So when we're going to sing together, we can all call and response. We can all join in. And oh yes, here's the stage and here's the audience. Really, we're all the stage and here's the audience. Okay, my dear devotees? So first of all, we'd like to share with you something that we try and remind ourselves daily is why we actually do what we do. Obviously, most of you are very exalted devotees. Still, we know the importance of repetition. So perhaps this would be a great moment to remind ourselves of who we really are.
Remind yourself. Remind yourself. Remind yourself who you
I'd rather be something better. So this one really resonates. So now I'd like to tell you a story. This is a wonderful story because it is a story of these beautiful, smiling lordships who preside over all of us. And the story is about the desire to see their faces. Do we know how to call upon Jagannath with a desire to see their face? Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Avatumi. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Avatumi. Thousands and thousands of years ago, there was a great king. His name was Maharaj Indradumna. And he had a burning desire in his heart. What was that desire? For fame? No. Well, no. He wanted to gaze upon the face of Krishna, of his Lord. That was all he wanted. So daily he would sit and he would pray and he would chant. What would he chant? What would he pray? What would resonate? Let's pray in the mood of Maharaj Indradumna.
Jagannath Swami, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Jagannath Swami, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami.
So Maharaj Indradumna, he became very disturbed. Because though he prayed daily, though he constantly called out for the Lord, he could not see him. And he thought, when will that day come that the Lord finally manifests before me? He began to lose hope. Until one day, a great sage entered his assembly. And he said, my dear king, I know where the Lord resides. I know where you can find him. I know where you can see him. His name is Nilamadhava. Nilamadhava. He said, he resides high in the Mount Niladri. And if you go there, you will be able to see him. The king could not simply leave his duties, so he sent his prime minister, Vidyapati. You go, you find Nilamadhava, and you bring him to me. And he will be the presiding deity of my kingdom. So, Vidyapati, this wonderful sage, the prime minister of the king, he traveled across mountains, across seas, until finally he came upon this place, Niladri. And he started to ask, have you seen Nilamadhava? Have you seen Nilamadhava? No. Have you seen Nilamadhava? Do you know where he is? Have you seen Nilamadhava? No one has seen Nilamadhava. Until one night, he heard some women talking in the market. And what were they saying? They were talking about the flower arrangements that would be traveling up the mountain in the morning to worship Nilamadhava. So he came close and he heard these were Savara women. They were women from a group, a tribe of forest people. And they actually were keeping Nilamadhava hidden high in the mountains. And he found out that the king of these Savaras, Vishwavasu, he was the personality. If I'm going to have the chance to find this Nilamadhava. So slowly he developed the relationship with this Vishwavasu. Until one day, Vishwavasu gave him his own daughter in marriage. Having received the daughter of Vishwavasu in marriage, he thought, okay, now I'm ready. So, in a perfect moment, he found the confidence in his heart to approach Vishwavasu and say, my dear Vishwavasu, there's one desire I have in my heart. Vishwavasu said, yes, what is his desire? He said, if I've done anything right, please fulfill this one desire. A Vidyapati. A Vidyapati was intelligent. What did he do? He filled his pockets with sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are very fertile. And he made a small hole in the back of his pocket. So as he was walking blindfolded up the mountain, this drops of sesame seeds would drop all along his path. So that later, when those sesame flower sprouts, he could find his way back to Nilamata. Upon arriving, Vishwavasu removes this covering from his eyes, and upon gazing on the form of Nilamadava, which must have been very similar to Krishna standing, Srivanga form, he completely lost consciousness. How beautiful Nilamadava was. And at that moment, Nilamadava spoke to Vishwavasu. He said, "My dear Vishwavasu, I plan to no longer receive your service. For many years you have served me with berries from the forest, leaves and flowers in the tribal fashion, but now my desire is to be worshipped with all alankara, with all beauty, with all gold, with all different ornaments and different bhojanas, different offerings." So when Vishwavasu heard this, Vishwavasu became so disturbed because Nilamadava said, "I want to be worshipped by Maharaj Indradumna now, and he will worship me in this way." Vishwavasu became so disturbed that he thought, "This Vidyapati tricked me. He came here, and now he convinced my Lord to go and be worshipped over there," so he tied him to a tree. He tied him to a tree. He said, "You're not going anywhere. You're going to stay here for the rest of your days. You wanted to see Nilamadava? Now gaze upon him until the end." But Vidyapati called out, and his wife found him, and he did not return home. Untied him, and he returned running to Maharaj Indradumna and said, "I have found him. Now you come with me, and we will find him." So they returned with an entire army to the kingdom of this great Vishwavasu. Stopping the army on the outskirts of the mountain, they began to climb. And as they climbed, a great storm began to thunder. But as they climbed, Maharaj Indradumna continued chanting, and when they opened the doors, what did they see? No one. The temple was empty. Maharaj Indradumna became so angry. He thought, "This Vishwavasu, he came in the night and he took my Nilamadava away. Let us go find him, bring the armies." As they descended the mountain, who did they find? Vishwavasu, crying and lamenting, "My Nilamadava has gone. My Nilamadava has gone. Now what is the point of my life?" At this point, Maharaj Indradumna understood that this was the desire of the Lord to disappear. So he felt, because I have come and interrupted this devotee seva, now the Lord doesn't even let me see his face. All he wanted was to gaze upon the face of the Lord, and now the Lord didn't even give him that privilege. So he also began to cry. At that moment, Narada Muni descended, and he explained, "My dear devotees, please do not lament. This was the desire of the Lord, and very soon he will appear in the form of a floating log upon the shores of Nilachala, a log from a kalpavriksha tree from Svetadvi. That temple is constructed. Lord Brahma is waiting for you, Maharaj Indradumna, to come up and receive instruction from him how the deity should be worshipped." So immediately the construction of this temple began, and when this temple construction was complete, Maharaj Indradumna, being a king from this planet, was welcomed to Brahmalok. And what gave him his qualification, a mere mortal, to enter into the realm of Lord Brahma? Because within his heart, there was only one desire. What was that desire? he returned home. And when he returned home, he tried to enter into his kingdom. The guard stopped him. Said, "Excuse me, who are you that wants to enter into this kingdom?" "I am your king, Maharaj Indradumna." "We have never heard of any Maharaj Indradumna." "Who is this Maharaj Indradumna?" "I do not understand. He saw the royal caravan passing by with the queens of the palace, and he came to my dear queen. Look at his eye, they will not let me enter." The cloth of the palanquin pulled back, and there was some unknown lady sitting there. She said, "Yes, I am queen. I don't know who you are." "Who are you?" She said, "I am Maharaj Indradumna. This is my kingdom." And at that point, the king was so disturbed he could not understand. A celestial crow arrived, called Ushanti. And he said, "My dear king, allow me to explain. You have spent a few moments in Brahmalok, which is equivalent to thousands upon thousands and thousands of years here on planet Earth. Everyone you know is dead and gone. There's nobody here who even remembers your name. That is why now you do not know anyone." Maharaj Indradumna, even having lost his entire kingdom, lost his family, he was not disturbed. He understood, "I have to continue with my service." So what would he do? He would stay on the shores of the ocean waiting for that log to appear. Finally, one day, this beautiful log came floating along the waves of the ocean and became banked upon the sands. The king immediately went and brought in elephants, armies. They all came and they tried to pull this log, they could not budge it. It would not move. Because the log was a representation of Neelamadeva, who wanted the affection of a particular group of devotees. At that moment, a young Savara man, who happened to be a descendant of King Vishwavasu, came forward and easily pulled the log. He brought the log into the kingdom, and there they arranged for the greatest carver of the land, who was actually an incarnation of Vishwakarma, to carve the deity. This old carpenter said, "I will carve the deity, but I cannot be disturbed. Until I finish the carving, you cannot open the doors." The king accepted. The doors were closed, and every night and every day, what would the king hear? Until one night, there was no more sound. There was no more tapping. There was no more noise. The king became disturbed. What's going on? Why isn't he working? Has he finished? Has he died? So he called the army, he called the generals, said, "Break down this door. I want to see what is happening on the other side." They came forward and they smashed open this door. Lo and behold, was actually feeling very hurt because he came and he saw the deity. He said, "This deity has no hands. This deity has no feet. I've broken the promise I made to this carpenter. Now the deity is unfinished." At that moment, that Savara gentleman came forth and he said, "My dear king, everything that our Lord does is perfect and complete." And by the mercy of the Lord, he was able to see Jagannath for the form that he has now, with these beautiful eyes, beautiful smile, beautiful gait. And from that day forth, Jagannath has been worshipped in this form in Puri for thousands of years, until recently, when this gentleman brought him to us. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, not only is Jagannath known in India, in every corner of Bharat, but every city, in almost every country in the world has heard of Jagannath Ratha Yatra. And now we can all sing. presentation that we performed in different universities and different spaces, but because we were in the presence of Jagannath and so many wonderful devotees of Jagannath, we wanted to adapt to be able to serve you all with this pastime of Jagannath. In the heart of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, it is our natural commentary on Vedanta. Has so many principles that we could drink one page or one letter of the Bhagavatam for our entire life. Our attempt here was to take some aspect of the Bhagavatam and make it very accessible. So we've taken the story of the Bhagavatam and we've given it a slight accessible touch, in that Sutta Goswami is portrayed as a charming elderly gentleman who is telling a story to the audience. And from all of the different pastimes found within the Bhagavatam, we've tried to condense it to the principle of overcoming the identification with the body, to understand that we are, in essence, a soul. So this play actually we've performed already across Europe, South America, in the United States, and we've received really wonderful feedback from different personalities that have been able to witness it. We're very happy to present it to all of you today. Most of the cast that we have here, we kind of met here recently, and some of the devotees you may recognize, your own resident Vaishnavis, and they just picked it up in 2 days very quickly, so we're very grateful and we're very happy that we had the opportunity to work with all of you. So we hope that our presentation of the Bhagavatam provides you with some joy, perhaps a smile upon your heart. And definitely what we're aspiring for is that when you see this, you feel or think of that one friend of yours who's just starting to become attracted to Krishna or Bhakti, and you think, oh wow, that would be perfect for that friend of mine. And that's exactly what we're going for. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Sriman Bhagavatam.
Ages past, a great man, a wonderful man, was once faced with this very question. And and his course of action wrote the pages of history. His name was Parikshit. He was famed across lands and seas, respected for his valor and position, and loved for his heart of the purest kind. He was the king of kings and ruled with both virtue and humility. Though a man of God within, upon the field of battle, he was an unstoppable force. Even the noble are subject to the forces of time. Parikshit faced his greatest trial after a fearsome victory. The king was fatigued by his martial venture when he happened upon a hermitage of sages. He was thirsty, but they ignored him. Unbeknown to the king, the sages were in deep meditation and oblivious to his presence. The king's mind, clouded by the sandstorm of burning thirst, reacted in a manner unbefitting his true demeanor. Seeing a dead snake, he placed it upon the sage's shoulders, considering it an appropriate garland for a man of such pride. Upon returning home, however, Parikshit's heart was heavy. Repenting his harsh behavior, he prayed for forgiveness to the sage within the recesses of his heart. The king's apology, however, was not heard by the sage's son, who soon returned home. The young priest's heart burst into flames. With words set ablaze by that raging fire, he spat forth a curse. manner as the will of the Lord. Death's inescapability and precision held no illusion. And so he was grateful to the young boy for having given him time to prepare himself. Parikshit walked in pilgrimage to the banks of the sacred river Ganges, deeming it a most auspicious place to take his next step in existence. His goal was to perfect his life by concluding it in perfect consciousness. Hearing of Parikshit's resolve to fast on the banks of the Ganges, sages and great minds alike assembled there.
O Honorable Assembly, you have very kindly come here from all parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified. And you are naturally inclined toward the welfare of others. Please, tell unto me, what is the path of perfection for all beings? And what is the duty of a man who is about to die?
At that moment, amongst all present, there was but one who was most qualified and worthy to answer this pivotal question. Before them walked a boy, a child prodigy of his time. Draped in robes of perfect knowledge, he carried the ornament of the absolute truth. His name was Shukadev Goswami.
What forlorn truth within this thy world of men ruleth sovereign? The fierce downpour of death floodeth our existence. Yet every mortal being, sheltered beneath the laced parasol of time, stands self-assured of its inviolability. My dear King Parikshit, thou bringest forth this a matter of true import, a subject pertinent to all men. What is the duty of a man who is about to die? Hear now from me of thy ancestor, Emperor Bhishma, who having lived a life of duty, perfected the art of dying. Upon the cusp of youth, for his stepmother to secure the crown for her descendants, Bhishma seized the fearsome vow of celibacy and renounced his claim to the throne. Succeeding a long life, he found his way once more upon the battlefield. Bound by duty, he fought another's battle. Even after decades of service to his people, he was still a force to be reckoned with. Desperate to overthrow him, his enemy took advantage of his righteousness. They sent a princess to engage him in battle. his fate with open arms. Finally, upon a bed of arrows, amongst the fields of battle, Bhishma lay his head in rest, and with the sheer strength of his desire, he remained in this condition for 58 days and nights.
It was from this bed that he enlightened my grandparents on the duties of mankind?
Indeed, imparting his wisdom for generations to come.
Duty is not ashamed of work to be dreaded or endured. It is an honor, the seed of humanity, bearing the fruit of love. Love is not a product of laziness, a happenstance of chance. It blossoms only when tended by a sensitive heart.
What beautiful, beautiful words. But he knew, Bhishma knew what he was talking about. Love is in the small things. Take a father, for instance. A father's love for his little girl. Love is found with attention to details. It's frightening, I know, but we can't hold on forever. Our children have a life of their own. The key is accepting that her story isn't over, and to know that we did our best to protect, teach, and help. Because love is knowing when to let go. This might be the story of a father's love for his little girl, but it is also the story of our love for this life, which we hold so dear. If we treat this life how every loving parent should treat their child, we will realize love is knowing when to let go. Just like Grandfather Bhishma.
Colors of duty painted on the parchment of desire will never dry, and time will only allow for the gravity of this world to ruin you over and over. Upon the canvas of detachment, however, when painted with care, time matures you, and the art of death becomes no longer fearsome. After giving all that he could in service, satisfied in his endeavors, Bhishma the Great accepted the embrace of death. My dear Parikshit, apply now the teachings of your great ancestor Bhishma, for he who successfully passes over the threshold of death with a mind enlightened by absolute truth will never return to this world of illusion. You will return home to that place of no suffering, running straight into the open arms of your Supreme Father.
O Sugadev, by your kindness my questions have been answered. You have shown me the path of perfection, and now my duty is clear. I no longer fear death. I am ready to let go, and I am ready for what awaits.
satisfying the king with his eloquent presentation of perfect knowledge, the youthful sage gracefully disappeared into the wilderness, having changed the course of history. King Parikshit sat down on the bank of the river Ganges, his mind determined and his heart at peace. Filled with the wisdom imparted by the sage Sukadev, he experienced full self-realization and was free from attachment and doubt. The king fixed his mind within his spiritual self and directed his meditation upon the supreme, absolute truth. His breathing slowed to a halt, and he became still as a tree. Grateful to the young boy for having given him time to prepare himself. So, if I told you had 7 days left to live, what would you do? Realizations of such matters are rare gems in our age. But with books of spiritual import, like the Bhagavatam, perhaps someday your choices could write the pages of history.
Thank you very much, dear devotees. How did you like to play? I remember one time a friend of mine was telling me that at weddings, he liked to sit in the audience and look at the groom when the bride was entering. He said that that's the place where you really see what's going on. And when the bride is entering, instead of looking at the bridal party, which is what most people do, he would look at the groom and look at the groom's eyes and see. And for me, my favorite part of putting on these shows is to then sit and look at you while you're watching what we're putting together. And I was very happy to see a few tears. I'm not going to look in the direction of the people who I saw you cry. But for us, that is everything. And it's really beautiful because obviously our dear Nityananda Prabhu, he gives us this principle, just a few tears, that's all we need. So for us, all the hard work, all the effort, obviously hearing the applause, hearing the feedback, it means so much to us. But when we see just a little wipe, everything is perfect. That means that we're hitting the notes. So thank you so much. A few little details about the Bhagavatam play. We were trying to put little embedded principles in there. For example, in Bengal, it's very traditional even to this day that when a Bhagavad Sapta is taking place, a parrot is kept there to represent Sukadev Goswami. So then we had a parrot in Suta's house just to represent that principle. And then we had a few other little things here and there that we just try to put in for the crew itself. That's one of the principles that we very much enjoy in our presentations, is the opportunity for all of us to, by performing these plays, to develop our own attachment to the Bhagavatam. But the real key of this particular show is the giving of the Bhagavatam. So every single time we do this show, the whole crew is performing and looking in the audience, and we see the person that's paying the most attention. And then at the end of the show, Sutta Goswami comes down off the stage, goes into the audience, and then he'll give the Bhagavatam to that person. So however many times we've done this play, that's how many Bhagavatams have gone out. So it's a little book distribution from it's actually really sweet. It's very sweet. We've had people come back to our show much later and say, oh, I came to your show this year and I got the Bhagavatam. So that we know, wow, they're very attentive in the show. And at least in Poland, whenever we do this play, most of the time, then the guest will come to the side, and then His Holiness Nirunga Swami would take some time with them, and then maybe write a little notes and help them. And sometimes they would come and take more books from the book table. So it's a little opportunity to enter into the family business, and through the show, continue to share the principles of the Bible. So I'm sure Anupam Prabhu, he appreciates this principle. We have many Marathi distributors here, and wherever we've gone, it's one of the things that we're very happy to be able to contribute. One of the things that we've also found is the opportunity to find new avenues to explore philosophy. Because sometimes to sit and give a lecture, not everyone is ready to sit. And even when you just say sometimes the word lecture, I remember Bhakti Charaswami, he gave a lecture in Bengali where he quoted a verse which roughly translates, says that the moment that a lecture begins, Nidra Devi arrives, the goddess of sleep. So it's true, sometimes we hear, oh, there's going to be a lecture, and we're not always ready for that. We're not ready, even as devotees, we're not ready for that. So what to speak people that are new, they come to the show like, okay, now we're gonna speak to you for 45 minutes on philosophy. Not everyone is ready, but by these different avenues, we're racking our brains of how to find ways to make it very entertaining and innovative. And actually the next performance we have for you is one of those. One of our team members, Joseph Patrick Davishire, Bhakta Joseph Patrick Davishire Prabhu, who has been working with us for a few years now. He found a very interesting approach to discuss the philosophy of ultimately bhakti in the dynamic of a very, very modern scenario. And he wrote this play, and the idea of this play is to really explore these moments of death, right? We have this understanding that the consciousness that we hold at the moment of death, the thoughts that we entertain at the moment of death, direct us to our next reality. So the principle of what these devotees are trying to unpack here is the dynamic of how we can assist each other in having the highest consciousness at the moment of death. And even if the environment may be unfavorable, the desire of the devotees to assist everyone in having that consciousness. And just the beautiful principle of the Lord's mercy is, as we know, Krishna is so kind, if we simply are able to remember him at the moment of death. We hear of Ajamil, who was barely remembering, still the Lord arranged everything. And actually, Mahadev, he once asked the Lord, "My dear Lord, you are so kind that if anyone, no matter the lifestyle they lived, remembers you at the time of death, you accept them to your eternal abode. But what happens to those devotees that dedicate their life in your service, but due to some unfortunate incident aren't able to remember you and focus on you at the time of death? What happens then?" And what did the Lord answer? He said that in those cases, I will remember them, and they will still come back to me. So with that mood in our hearts, we're very happy to share this next production, which is ready, I believe, which is called The Cowboy and the Outlaw.
Nobody tell the sheriff. Keep it down! What you looking at? What's these people over here? What's going on here? Anyone tell the sheriff I'm around? I'm gonna have your head on my breakfast. What's this drum? What's all of this?
This is the end of the line, outlaw. Ain't nowhere else left to hide. You're coming with me.
You ain't got the guts, boy. You're all washed up. Now you quit playing and do something, cause I ain't going nowhere with you. You gonna have to shoot me.
Shoot you? Your life's too valuable, son. I can't just get in the likes of you. Folk will pay a pretty penny to see you behind bars. You're going away for a long time.
A long time.
That's right.
Boy, I've been around these parts for more years than you got hairs in your chin, boy. Ain't nothing you can do to tell me that can teach me a goddamn thing.
You may have lived a long time, outlaw, but what is the use of a prolonged life that is wasted? Inexperienced by years spent on this godforsaken rock. Better yet, just to have a moment. One moment to realize the Lord. Because then and only then can you start your search from your supreme interest.
Inexperienced.
That's right.
Wasted.
Maybe.
You think your Bible talk is gonna make me come quietly? Well, you better off putting a bullet through my bread loaf, boy. I ain't afraid of you or your Bible talk. Cause right now you're talking to a free man.
The Lord's book does say that in the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death. So I will give you that much, outlaw. But if you want to be free, and I'm talking real free, you gotta rid yourself of any attachment to the body and mind and everything related to it, and all desire thereof.
Oh, well, you cut it with your sermon. Now you gonna shoot me or arrest me or keep messing with my mind?
I'm trying to open your mind, outlaw. Because no matter what, it's always going to be agitated by the passions of material nature and confused by its ignorance. But I don't want to shoot you. I want to help you. And you can rectify any misconceptions you might have by forming a relationship with God. At any time, even the likes of you can be cleansed and pacified of their dirty things caused by passion and ignorance.
Boy, I'm the most passionate, ignorant son of a gun you've ever laid eyes on. I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen, I have murdered. I've had all the riches of the world that I could put my hands on. And I ain't never been happy. And you think your God is going to save me now?
Maybe.
You're going to quit talking or I'm going to have to pull the trigger on my damn self.
This is the reason why a wise man should only try for the bare necessities of life whilst in here in the world of names. He should intelligently fix his mind and never endeavor for unwanted things. Understanding that all efforts are practically just, well, hard labor for nothing.
What do you know about hard labor, Sheriff? Probably got a nice family at home.
Maybe.
A nice wife and kids.
She's okay.
Get good education. I've had a hard life, Sheriff, and everything that I've took, I've earned my damn self debt.
Come on now, Outlaw. Be reasonable. Only a gross man, a worldly pleasures, will refuse saintly thoughts and take to non-permanent names and things. You don't enjoy watching a mass of people fall in a river of suffering as a consequence of their own work, now do you?
Now you won't talk about karma, huh? I may be a no good, low down, dirty outlaw, but I don't enjoy watching people suffer. I've had a hard life, Sheriff. A hard life indeed. But all the things that I've done, Sheriff, I gotta shoot you now. I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger while you stand there, Sheriff. Quit it!
Come on, are there no torn clothes lying on the common road? Are the trees, which exist solely for maintaining others, no longer get alms in charity? Are the caves of the mountains now closed? Or above all, does the Almighty God not protect those fully surrendered souls? Well, why then do you try so hard to flatter those that are intoxicated by hard-earned wealth?
I ain't flattering nobody, Sheriff. I've had a hard life, and I ain't nobody's fool. I've had a hard life, Sheriff. A hard life indeed. And I've got through it with my 2 hands and the grit of my teeth. I'm ready when you are, Sheriff. Because right now in this world, I can do whatever I want, Sheriff.
Have to surrender.
I ain't surrendering to nobody. Not to you. Not the law. Not God. Not nobody. Ah!
Surrender now,
Never!
then let this be your last will and testimony.
Well, then send me to heaven, Sheriff. I'm ready when you are.
Whenever the self-realized man desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be confused about the proper time or place. But if she should come to receive it, not be disturbed, and breathe strong, control the senses by mind. The words of the holy books can be so confusing. They direct intelligent people to meaningless things like the heavenly kingdoms. The conditioned souls float in heavenly pleasures. But it's just an illusion. Actually, they don't take any genuine pleasure or happiness in such places. But to hear about the good Lord before one parts this earth, this is the best medicine, not just for the outlaw, for all people.
How did we like that one? We constantly pray to Srimati Radhika. We pray that just as every day she prepares different preparations for Sri Shyam Sundar, she never makes the same thing twice. Always finds new flavors, new dynamics, we pray that we can always find new avenues to express the philosophy of our books in a way that is accessible, palatable, interesting, and intriguing. And even if after our audience goes home, they just go home with one little remembrance, I like this one thing, or even just, those guys were okay, they're all right. They're still doing some kind of development, and we're happy to be able to love them and offer our arts in their service of their bhakti development. So it's our great honor to continue sharing this, and we just wanted to finish with one beautiful song, actually written by Prananda Kirtan Prabhu, expressing our love for our spiritual master, our beloved, our only, our dear, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Greatest story ever told, the day that I met you. You took me aboard, we sailed and soared, and shone
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Hari Hari Bol.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Ah!
Oh, Ratha
Hari Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining us all this evening. It's been wonderful to be with everyone. I just wanted to introduce all of our wonderful artists coming from all over the world. Actually, half of us arrived just on Monday on a plane from South Africa. So over here on my right, this is Jambavan. Creativity, and he has an amazing career ahead of him in the arts. He comes all the way from Pretoria, South Africa, and it's a great privilege for him to be with us. He just landed a few days ago. It's his first time in America, his first time learning a southern accent. And here we have is a local now, Mani Manjari. We've been the New York area for the past almost 2 years now, and it's been very fortunate that we're still close by. Mani and Anupam are now down in the Philly city area and heading up the Bhakti Garden, so we're still so grateful that you're with us, and thank you for coming. And here's our friend Tashito. Yesterday, you'll see that he is somewhat of a partial incarnation of rhythm. Rhythm has come and taken birth in this world in this form, and he's really ripping it up on the drums. And he also has an amazing conscious reggae project called Mighty Vibration, and you can check it out. Some really nice songs we were singing yesterday, and it's also his first time here. He comes all the way from Mozambique. I don't know where that is, but on his We actually first met at a festival that we were doing in Nashville, Tennessee a couple of years ago, and Ekachakra fell in love with the idea of sharing bhakti through the performing arts, and he joined us, and it's been such an adventure traveling around the world with him. And not only is he an incredible bass player, but an avid book distributor, great lover of the Bhagavatam, and an incredible public speaker. So we're really grateful to have you with us, Eka. Thank you so much. Resident is Shameshwari, trainer. Yes, there she is. She is starring as Takshaka, the snake bird that came down to take Parikshit to his final destination. So we also met just a few months ago. She joined His Holiness Indrajit Swami's amazing traveling party in the Polish tour, the festival in India there, and it's amazing to see her go from being Sapanika to Takshaka to all sorts of amazing characters, and it's really a great privilege to work with somebody with such a depth of understanding of devotional service and an amazing way to express it through all her creative mediums. So thank you so much for joining us. And here we have our friend Sir Joseph Patrick Derbyshire. From Leicester, which is not London, just so you know. And Joseph, we've been collaborating for quite a few years. We actually met in Sri Vrindavan Dham. I saw him about 20 meters away, and I thought, wow, this guy, got to see him on the stage. And then one day, actually, I was speaking to my mother on the phone, and I started to speak about this amazing festivals that we were doing, and just telling my mother about the show. And I was just next to Joseph, because we were waiting in the queue for prasadam, and he was listening to this amazing distribution of Krishna consciousness through the arts, and he was the one that asked me, and all of a sudden, next thing we found ourselves in America. So thank you very much, Joseph, for joining us. He's an incredible writer, director, One of our initiatives are not just collecting artists and traveling around the world, but we also like to work with local devotees and find people who are interested. And I'd really like to welcome there's Marissa. Here we just met this week. We're in the temple here. We have Sierra and then Trisha and so it's quite amazing. They had no idea that we were coming to town. On Thursday they joined us and we just put this Bhagavatam play together in 2 days. So it's really amazing to see you all, and it's a great journey in this process of service. And lastly, my friend Shinam Banamali Krishna Das. We've been collaborating for over a decade now, and Shinam, he originally from the Gurukul in Mayapur, he then became quite close with Indra Maharaj and joined his festival tour for over almost 20 years now. He actually grew up on the tour, and he was there in every department, from the kitchen to the sound desk to the lights to the different management positions, and then he really found his place in the creative area of the stage show. And I also really appreciate his kindness upon me, because we both have the service of unlocking each other's potential. And together we've had the privilege of writing some of these productions we've shown for you, and it's really been our honor and a great fortune that the spiritual master has allowed this and bestowed this service for us. So we're very happy, because a lot of the time we're sharing these songs and performances for people who are new to Bhakti, but it was nice to share it with devotees and just to show you what we do, and to also just have it there for the devotees and the pleasure of the Lord. So thank you very much, Sriman. I think it's really wonderful. We're very grateful also to the local devotees who invited us, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu and Joyner Chaya Prabhu. It's really wonderful that you invited us. We never really know what's going to happen with these performances, especially you can ask the artists. A lot of the time we don't even know what we're going to do, but we know that from the instruction comes the ability to execute the service, and we're really grateful to be a part of this amazing offering, this Ratha Yatra this year. I can really say that it's an amazing community you have here, and an incredible setup in this temple, in this space. The Lord is here. It's an incredible facility, amazing leadership, and I think you can all give yourselves a round of applause for being in such a great place. I would consider the vibrant space of sharing Krishna consciousness and a place of great fortune. The fact that you've got a temple here and so many amazing people coming in, and then an initiative right in the city. It's a very blessed situation. So I'm sure Srila Prabhupada and our respective spiritual masters and the whole parampara were very pleased by these efforts. So my name is Premnanda Kirtan, and this is Srila Prabhupada ki
Let's hear it one more time for these wonderful, beautiful flowers. Thank you so much, Brahmananda Prabhu, for organizing this. Really, I was speechless as I was watching it. I watched a little bit yesterday, but I was in and out, and was really able to absorb it today. And I was one of the ones with the tears in their eyes. That Prabhu said, and I say that proudly, because it's the effort. You can just tell the love, the devotion, the creativity, the hours, just thinking, and then making it manifest physically, and then coming together, organizing it, and the instruments, and then everybody's in sync. It's a symphony, and just very overwhelming. And I really have two prayers. One is that don't stop what you're doing, just keep doing it, because inspiring people, and you're touching people's hearts. The world really needs you guys right now. So just please keep doing what you're doing. And the second is I pray that Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra continue to glance upon you, bless you, and make all your endeavors to spread Krishna consciousness to all the people that you touch be successful. We hope to see you back here more and more. We hope to continue this relationship. It started, I think, many, maybe 6-7 years ago when Jujuna Maharaj came. And this is back again, and we hope to have you back again for even more events as we continue to expand our community here and branch off into different areas of spreading bhakti to general masses of people. So thank you once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Before we break for prasadam, I know it's late, everybody is hungry, they want to go for prasadam, but we want to thank our Sunday Feast sponsor for tonight, Pretty Shaw. Can you come forward? So, she's sponsored tonight on the occasion of Prayush Shah. This is the second year event anniversary. We have Dave here. Thank you. You give the prasad. We have a garland. You can give. So Prayush. Prayush is a very good member of our community. Very quiet. He would sit in the back. He would just he handed his feedback and he would just be chanting the whole time from the moment he came to the end. And some people would talk Krishna Katha to him. But he's very well known for his love of the Bhagavatam, Krishna stories. Just a kind, very gentle, loving man. He's been very, very much missed in our lives and our community. So tonight we want to remember him, and we want to offer our thoughts and prayers by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So please join.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I just want to say thank you to everyone to make this special day, because since morning, today is supposed to be last day of Shraddha Paksh, which is very auspicious to remember the people who left us, and I didn't know it was so beautiful, and his memory day was even better because of all this. Thank you all the devotees, all.
One person, it's a community effort, and that's the beauty of it. Many of you spent, weeks, months. Actually, we started planning it probably back in March, and many of you really, stepped on the gas pedal this last week, put in countless hours. Many of you, many sacrifices, and when we saw Lord Jagannath there, and kirtans going on, and the people just relishing the holy name, receiving Srila Prabhupada's books, taking Krishna Prasadam, watching this beautiful transcendental dramas and music, just seeing people's hearts get changed. People were going in one direction, and because this Ratha Yatra, now all of a sudden their compass is pointed north toward Krishna.
Haribol.
This is the power of these festivals, and I hope everybody enjoyed it, and it took pleasure in the seva that took place. Okay.
Also, thank you very much to the management who put their all efforts to make it successful.
Haribol.
A very advanced group of individuals led by Bhavna Nityadev Prabhu, Krishna Gira Prabhu. This is our last year. This is our first year we didn't have His Grace Chaitanya Jivan Prabhu, who passed away. But he was our anchor for many, many years, over 15 years in the Ratha Yatra. Devi Deva Prabhu, Mother Sita, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, and share our appreciation for each other. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki
Jai!
Someone left their phone in the bathroom. It is a Motorola phone. If you're listening to your phone, I'll have it okay.